Before the throne of the goddess of darkness, I stood to receive my judgment. For one single failure, Heloise condemned my decades of service. Her sentence was absolute, an eternity in hell. I begged for another chance, reminding her of the hundreds of tasks I'd completed in her name. But to a goddess, a disobedient dog is simply put down. Her darkness consumed everything, my loyalty and my life along with it. The tendrils of shadow tore me apart. Was this truly the end? Discarded after a single mistake? Was it because I was only human? A disposable tool for an uncaring god? No. If I was gonna die, I wouldn't go quietly. As the darkness pulled me under, I began to laugh. I laughed at the absurdity of my devotion. I laughed at the goddess who thought she could break me. With my last breath, I gave her my final, defiant message. She watched, impassive as ever, as I sank into the abyss. My body grew cold, sinking into the endless dark. This was it, the end. But an item I'd long forgotten, the chrono hourglass, had other plans. I woke up with a scream, my final curse still on my lips. This wasn't the abyss. This was my old college dorm room. Were those 20 years of servitude just a nightmare? Then I remembered the hourglass. The sand, once at the bottom, had completely reversed. It had turned back time. The date on my phone confirmed it. I was 10 years in the past, right before the trials began. I remembered this day, the day the world ended, and a heavenly voice announced a trial that would kill most of humanity. Monsters and zombies flooded the earth. In my first life, I died here like everyone else. But with the monsters came miracles. Magical items and skills that gave humanity a chance to fight back. The gods who created the trial couldn't interfere directly, so they chose humans to act as their players, and I was chosen by her. Heloise, the beautiful and cruel goddess of darkness. I dedicated my life to her, but in the end, she cast me aside. This time, things will be different. But I knew the truth. The apocalypse was beginning, right on schedule. This time, I won't be a pawn. I will stand above all others, even the gods. I remembered a secret from my past life. Innate abilities could be upgraded before the trial officially began. My F rank, virus resistance, was useless then, but now it was my key. I just had to get infected first. I went straight to the hospital, following the sounds of chaos. There it was, patient 0, strapped to a bed but already turned. Just as I remembered. The first zombie. I needed a pure sample of the virus. This was my only chance to seize power. Back in my dorm, my roommates were gone. Perfect. Even knowing the potential reward, my hand trembled. This was suicide. But the memory of my powerlessness was stronger than my fear. There was no other way to get the power I needed. I would not be a dog in this life. I pushed the plunger. The pain was absolute. Either I'd become a god or I'd die right here. My body gave out, and I collapsed to the floor. In the darkness of my mind, I saw her again, Heloise. A voice called my name, Chen Bai. Hold on. She tempted me, offering the sweet release of submission to her power. But I fought back, her name a curse on my lips. This time, I would not serve her. I would conquer her. I will not fall here again. And then, the pain was gone. I was standing. My roommates had returned, their screams echoing in the hall. They looked at me as if I were a monster. Armed with brooms and chairs, they cowered by the door. I just smirked. You're back? Ignoring them, I walked to the bathroom. One look in the mirror confirmed it. The plan had worked. My innate ability had awakened. Now how strong had it become? A voice echoed through my mind, the universal will itself. It had selected me as a pioneer for awakening ahead of the trial. The title came with a perfect boost to all my stats. This was the head start I'd gambled my life for, but that was just a bonus. Now for the real prize. My F rank ability had been reforged into something legendary. SSS rank Virus Monarch. My new ability, Virus Monarch, gave me the power to manipulate all viruses. But it was still weak. To make it stronger, I needed to absorb more. And there's no better place to find a variety of viruses than a hospital. I headed straight for the city's central hospital. Just as I arrived, the first wave of survivors came pouring out. They screamed about monsters. I saw an opportunity. Then, a jolt of memory. I knew this place. In my past life, this became the infamous, sealed hospital, a high-level dungeon. I had stumbled into a gold mine years before anyone else knew its value. This place would be my private leveling ground. The first of my prey lunged from the entrance. I met it head-on, tackling it to the pavement. Virus absorption activated. The power flowing into me was intoxicating. Before me stood an army of experience points, and none would escape. Meanwhile, for those trapped inside, hell was just beginning. A handful of staff tried to barricade themselves in a restroom, but the dead were already inside with them. Faced with certain death, Director Lee's sanity began to crack. His colleague could only watch, paralyzed by despair. She saw the madness in his eyes. "Director, what are you doing?" He lunged, determined to take one last thing before the end. But the dead were faster. A zombie burst through the wall, its gaze fixed on the director. In a final, cowardly act, he grabbed the nurse to use as a shield. He threw her to the monster to buy himself a few seconds. He bolted, his only thought to reach the 4th floor and escape. But his borrowed time ran out. The zombie caught him, and together they crashed through the window. He survived the fall, landing hard on the pavement below. He looked up to see the ground already littered with corpses. He wasn't the only one hunting here. I found her in an empty corridor on the 3rd floor. It was the nurse from before, the one Director Lee had sacrificed. She'd just been bitten. The infection was taking hold. This was a perfect test. I reached out to absorb the virus. I needed a guide before the military locked this place down, and she was my best option. My power flowed into her, seeking out the zombie infection. To my surprise, I didn't just absorb the virus. I completely eradicated it from her system. She woke up, confused but alive. You saved me. I didn't have time for gratitude. Good, you're awake. I need your help. She agreed, but asked for a moment to find new clothes. We didn't have a moment. Take me to the place with the most viruses. Now. She led me to the laboratory. It would have to do. Don't ask questions, I told her. Just watch. One by one, I infected myself, absorbing every strain the lab had to offer. With these new assets, it was time to upgrade my primary weapon. I would use these lesser viruses as fuel to evolve my own. The system confirmed my success. My zombie virus had evolved into the Blacklight Virus, a virus focused on a single purpose, to devour and evolve. Just then, the nurse shouted a warning. We had company. I told her to stay back. A zombie appeared in the doorway. It was time for a field test. I grabbed it by the neck. It was faster than the others, but still no match for me. Let's see what this new power can really do. Dark tendrils erupted from my hand, a power I now commanded. The zombie shrieked as my virus began to consume it. I unleashed my new skill, Evolution Devour. The tendrils retracted, pulling the zombie's essence into my body. The absorption was fast, and my stamina was already recovering. Perfect. Behind me, the nurse could only stammer in disbelief. I turned back to her, the last of the dark energy fading from my hand. What's wrong? She took a deep breath, the shock giving way to resolve. I trust you, she said. Your secret is safe with me. Her name was Sushin. I helped her to her feet. Suddenly, a low growl echoed from outside, shaking the building. The military had arrived. That was our cue to leave. I grabbed her hand and headed for the roof. It was our only way out. If they caught me, I'd spend the rest of my life as a lab rat. But something else had found us first. A shadow fell over us. I looked up into the face of a far greater threat. It landed with the force of a wrecking ball. The monster crashed down between us, separating us in an instant. Sushin could only stare, her scream catching in her throat. This was no ordinary zombie. It was a mutated alpha, and it was ready to hunt. It stood between us and the exit. A mutated alpha. Its claws were sharp, but the wound was superficial. This was more than a threat. It was a meal. A perfect chance to see what my Blacklight Virus could absorb from a creature this powerful. It lunged, covering the distance in an instant. But I was faster. Its brute strength was useless against my agility. I flowed around its clumsy attacks, landing gracefully behind it. It was like dancing with a wrecking ball. Too slow, too predictable. I countered, striking with the raw power of my virus. It roared in fury, its body hardening, sprouting defensive spikes. A level 2 mutant. This was getting interesting. Time to get serious. I manifested the whip fist. The tendril lashed out, striking it dead center. It smashed into the wall, but the creature was unbelievably tough. I changed tactics, summoning ground shatter spikes from the floor. The blades erupted, impaling the beast from below. It howled in rage, its wounds already beginning to glow. Damn, it had a healing factor. My attacks weren't enough. Then, the sound of shattering glass. Sushin wasn't gonna just stand by and watch. "Chen Bai!" Her shout was a warning. She had a plan. The monster turned its attention back to me, lunging again. I dodged its claws by a hair's breadth. Then she struck, burying the axe in its back. "Well done, Sushin." With the beast staggered, she drove the axe in deeper, creating the opening I needed. I unleashed a new power, forming claws of pure energy. The slashes tore through its chest, leaving deep, gaping wounds that wouldn't heal so easily. This was more fun than I'd had in years. The axe was a crude weapon, but it got the job done. I leaped, aiming to finish it. "Go to hell!" It dodged my thrown axe, faster than I expected. The beast was on its knees, but far from finished. It was surprisingly resilient. "Not bad," I smirked. I caught the axe as it rebounded from the wall. "It's over," I told it. "Time to die." Its eyes glowed with pure, unadulterated rage. It was fast. The blow sent a shockwave through my entire body. I coughed up blood, the force of the impact staggering me. The axe flew from my hand, clattering uselessly on the floor. It drove its claws through my chest, exactly as I'd planned. I grinned through the blood. "Is that all you've got?" The monster hesitated, confusion overriding its rage. My virus erupted from the wound. A trap sprung from my own flesh. The tendrils latched on, ensnaring the beast completely. I activated Evolution Devour. "Now, you become a part of me." Its struggles were futile. It was already too late. The system confirmed it. I had completely devoured the Stage 2 mutant. The Blacklight Virus began its transformation, absorbing the new genetic material. I had obtained a new weapon, Bone Claws. This is true power. Constant devouring, constant evolution. I made the right choice. The Blacklight Virus was perfect. The sound of combat boots echoed down the hall. The military. They pointed their guns, shouting orders. Annoying. I stood in front of Sushin. They weren't taking either of us. They gave me 3 seconds. I only needed 1. I grabbed her and ran, bullets whizzing past our heads. They could shoot all they wanted. They'd never catch us. She saw the blood. "It's just a scratch," I told her. "Stay quiet." We made it to the roof, leaving the soldiers far behind. "Your address?" I asked. She told me, confused. I looked back at her. "Okay, hold on tight." The look on her face was priceless. She screamed as I stepped off the edge of the building. The fear in her eyes quickly turned to awe as we soared across the city. We arrived at her apartment. A few blocks, a few leaps. Easy. Inside, she offered to treat the bullet wound, but my healing factor had already started. "Fine," I said, pulling off my jacket. "You can take a look." She led me to the bathroom. I tossed my ruined shirt on the floor. She pointed out the wounds on my back weren't fully healed. Her eyes drifted lower. "The ones on your stomach haven't closed either." I leaned in close. "Perhaps if I ate you, I'd recover instantly." I smirked. "Are you willing to make that sacrifice?" She met my gaze, unafraid. "You won't. You would have done it already," I whispered in her ear. "That's because the environment wasn't right." I pulled her into the shower, but now it's perfect. She didn't resist. "Go on then. Wash it." "Okay," I said, before kissing her. Under the running water, the world outside melted away. But it wouldn't stay away for long. My phone, discarded on the floor, began to buzz incessantly. Before the trial, 3 major incidents occurred: a research institute massacre, a mysterious shipwreck, and a plane crash with no survivors. In my past life, I never learned the truth behind them. All information was suppressed, but I knew they were connected to the apocalypse. This time, I had to figure out how. A call from Sushin interrupted my thoughts. "2 men are here for you, sent by a Song Zichong." "Be careful," she warned. "They don't look friendly." I told her to make them wait outside. I'd handle it. I checked my messages. Song Zichong mentioned my sister, Geiran. She knew where she was. Suddenly, this meeting became my top priority. Song Zichong, head of the Jiangcheng Chamber of Commerce, a woman of immense power and wealth. Her men led me to a remote freezer warehouse on the outskirts of the city. In my past life, the Jiangcheng Queen was an untouchable figure I could only admire from afar. In this life, the roles would be reversed. I would be the one to recruit her. I heard the confident click of her heels before I saw her. Her subordinate announced my arrival. "Miss Song, Mr. Chen is here." She was as elegant as I remembered. "Mr. Chen, my apologies for dragging you all the way out here." I cut straight to the point. "Why did you want to see me?" She smiled. "Your sister, Gi Ran, was worried. I promised her I'd check on you." Her eyes scanned me, trying to gauge my worth. I wasn't buying it. "Let's skip the pleasantries. What's the real reason?" Her smile widened. "I like that. A man who doesn't waste time. Join me," she said bluntly. "You're powerful. I could even make you my son-in-law." An interesting offer. But how did she know I was powerful? "Your performance at the hospital was quite heroic," she purred. My blood ran cold. "How do you know about that?" I was certain I'd destroyed every camera in that building. "Don't underestimate me, little brother," she chided, calling herself Auntie Song. "My people were tracking you long before you reached the monitoring room. It also helps," she added, "to have an informant on the inside." She pulled out her phone and played a video. It was me fighting the mutant, clear as day. "Among the survivors my people rescued," she continued, "was a colleague of your nurse friend. His name is Liu Feng. I knew that name. Sishin had told me about him, the man who tried to use her as a shield. I remembered seeing a body hanging from a window. I'd assumed he was dead. She had hoped he'd suffered a painful end. I couldn't disagree. Then her mind had turned to other, more pressing matters. I'd told her we had all the time in the world, but she was insistent on repaying her lifesaver. Back in the present, I asked for the survivors' location. She just repeated her offer to have me join her. She was confident, but she was severely underestimating me. "You have no idea who you're dealing with," I told her. "I can't be your man. You should be mine." The shock on her face was satisfying. She thought it was just a mutation. "Wrong," I said, my power flaring to life. "Become my woman, and I'll tell you everything." She was intrigued, but questioned my interest, given I already had a companion. I told her a woman like her shouldn't be wasted in the apocalypse. She caught the word immediately. "This?" I laughed. "This isn't even a warm-up." The gears were turning in her head. She realized I knew what was coming. She was smart. She proposed an alliance, her resources for my knowledge. We shook on it. The Queen of Jiangcheng was a powerful ally to have. She knew her own value. "Of course," she said. "But don't stop trying to conquer me," she added with a smirk. "It's amusing." Then, a sudden bang. Gunshots. Close. The warehouse was under attack. "The military is using these warehouses to store survivors," Song Zicheng explained. "And the infected. But what could have caused this much chaos?" The cold should have made them sluggish. She didn't know. Extreme environments force evolution. I remembered this incident. The military eventually bombed this place to contain the outbreak. This time, I'd claim the prize inside for myself. The soldiers were desperate, trying to toss a grenade into its mouth. A perfect throw. The beast didn't even seem to notice. The resulting blast tore through the side of the warehouse. But the monster walked out of the smoke without a scratch. "Hold the line," their captain yelled. "Our weapons are useless. Just buy time for reinforcements." "Captain Zhao," Song Zicheng's voice cut through the chaos. "Pull your men back. They're dying for nothing," she stated coolly. "You can't hurt it." "We can't evacuate the civilians if we don't hold it back," he retorted. Among the civilians was a familiar face. Luli, my sister's friend. "Don't worry about the monster," Song Zicheng said with a knowing smile. "My partner will handle it." Right on cue. I caught its fist just before it crushed Luli. Impressive strength. But brute force wasn't going to win this fight. A simple push sent the behemoth stumbling backward. I manifested my claws and tore into its arm, but it was fast, catching me with a blow that sent me flying. Young watched, impressed. I landed on its head, a playful scratch for the overgrown beast. Enough games, it was time to end this. My claws tore through its thick hide, drawing a gasp from the soldiers below. Again and again, I hammered down, shattering bone and flesh. It tried to grab me, a futile gesture against my superior strength. "Good timing," I smirked, catching its other fist. My tendrils erupted, ensnaring both its arms. The trap was sprung. Captain Zhao could only stare. Impossible. Now for the main course. Time to devour and evolve. He's not human, Zhao realized, watching in horror as I began to consume the beast. He's another monster. He saw his chance. While the two monsters were locked together, command. I need a missile strike on my position now. A hand fell on his shoulder, stopping him cold. He spun around, startled. Calm down, Captain, Su Xin said firmly. He just saved all of you. Song Zikyung's smile was anything but friendly. Don't do anything you'll regret. 10 minutes later, the dust had settled. I stood in the center of a military cordon, 100 rifles aimed at my chest. Captain Zhao kept his men on high alert, but his eyes kept flicking back towards Song Zicheng. You gave me your word, Captain, she reminded him. He reluctantly agreed not to fire unless provoked. The system confirmed it. My evolution was complete. I had absorbed the Frost Zombie's genes, gaining its virus resistance and cryo abilities. The Blacklight Virus had also unlocked 2 new weapons, the Bone Blade and the Heavy Hammer. The Bone Blade was a significant upgrade from my previous claws. A perfect combination of lethal speed and overwhelming force. The weight of the Heavy Hammer felt incredible. I just needed a worthy target to test it on. I retracted the biomass. These new forms were the biggest prize of the day. Well, almost the biggest. The monster had dropped its core, the Flesh Mountain core. I could use it to craft equipment, or even grow a defensive wall of flesh. Perhaps I should cultivate a new Flesh Mountain, just to test its strength. The possibilities were endless. Chen Bai! A voice called my name. I quickly pocketed the core. It was Luli, the journalist. My sister's friend. You were filming at the hospital, I stated. It wasn't a question. She nodded, bowing her head. Yes, thank you for saving me. Again, keep the footage, I told her. I have a use for it. Just then, Captain Zhao stepped forward. Mr. Chen, our commander wishes to speak with you. Their commander. I knew exactly who that was. Wang Xingchu. In my past life, he was a tyrant who tortured the awakened for his own research. Countless people suffered under his iron fist, myself included. He imposed a strict lockdown, treating Jiang Cheng like his personal fiefdom. Eventually, his paranoia and cruelty forced me to flee the city I once called home. I wasn't gonna let that happen again. Before I could answer, Song Zicheng stepped forward. Captain, she began, her voice leaving no room for argument. I'll take it from here. He started to lecture her on civic duty, insisting I had to cooperate with the military. She scoffed. I'm not interested in your opinions. Get Huang Xingchu on the line for me. Now, the captain's subordinate went pale. In Jiangcheng, everyone knew that name. Before he could respond, another soldier ran up. Sir! The quarantine survivors are rioting! I recognized the name of their ringleader immediately. Liu Feng, a loose end I'd been meaning to tie up. Bring him to me. I ordered the stunned captain. He swaggered over, bragging about his father, the hospital's vice president. He had no idea who he was talking to. I put a hand on his shoulder, a seemingly friendly gesture, and injected a tiny, customized sample of the zombie virus directly into his bloodstream. I have a message for you, I said, smiling. Su Xin says hello. The color drained from his face. She's alive? I stepped back and shouted, he's turning! The soldiers immediately raised their rifles. You're lying, he screamed, just as the virus began to visibly corrupt his flesh. The realization dawned on his face, a mask of pure terror. It was already too late. He screamed as his body twisted and broke, remaking itself into something monstrous. The newly formed creature lunged, its mutated arms swinging wildly. I met its clumsy attack with a simple kick, sending it sprawling. Pathetic. Captain Zhao stared, finally understanding. You're superhuman? A clean solution, Song Zicheng commented as we walked away. I have that information you wanted. You can call me Zicheng, she added, or Song Jie if you prefer. She took my arm. With companions like me and Su Xin, do you even have room for anyone else? I met her gaze. That depends entirely on their value. Song Zicheng invited me to dinner at her villa, a chance to formalize our alliance. I told her to let me rest until we arrived. I had more pressing matters to attend to, the rewards for killing the Flesh Mountain. It was time to see what I'd won. The system lottery was generous. 2 skill books, Rampage Bloodlust, a temporary boost with a crippling weakness debuff, worthless. Muscle Enhancement, I remembered this one. It traded all flexibility for raw power. Another dead end. They were useless to me, but for building a faction, they were priceless. 6 gold coins, just enough. In the coming chaos, early alliances would be everything. It was time to create a private channel, I spent the 5 coins. The name didn't matter. The system confirmed it. A memory surfaced, a promise made to Heloise to reclaim this city, and to make Huang Xingqiu grovel at my feet. 3 hours later, we were at her villa. I laid out the basics of the cosmic trial. Most of humanity would be turned into monsters to be hunted. I had given her enough information to secure a foothold in the new world, but she was smarter than that hesitation. She listed her assets: money, status, influence. The Queen of Jiangcheng laying out her dowry. Worthless, I cut her off. In the new world, all that makes you is a prize to be claimed. I'd seen it 100 times. Powerful women, reduced to property, sold to the highest bidder. And how is being your subordinate any different? She challenged. I'm offering you a stage to use your talents, I told her, under a master who will never be surpassed. She saw the opportunity for what it was, a chance to be on the winning side of history. She knelt. I, Song Ziqiang, am willing to serve you as my master. The mighty queen of Jiangcheng, submitting so completely. I had to admit, it was a thrill. Good, I said, lifting her chin. Your first task awaits. My message arrived instantly. Luli stared at her phone in shock. Song Ziqiang's assistant read my instructions. Handle Luli and use her media connections to boost my post. Ms. Song has arranged for you to go home and rest, the assistant said, smoothly taking control. Back in the car, Luli seemed to be processing the day's events. It was a lot to take in. But in the face of my power, she wasn't afraid. She felt safe. I borrowed Song Ziqiang's phone. There was one more person I needed to contact. Her daughter, Song Yi, she answered, expecting her mother. It's me, I said. The shock in her voice was satisfying. Your mother is busy. Come to the villa. We have important things to discuss. She agreed, but not before complaining that I'd ignored her messages. I hung up. She had spirit, I'd give her that. Song Ziqiang's loyalty was now tied to her daughter's safety. Please protect her, she begged. I will keep her safe from the trial, I promised, as long as you prove your worth to me. She looked up, her expression a mixture of gratitude and resolve. Thank you, Master. We arrived at one of her secret warehouses, a perfect base of operations. Song Yi was already there, arguing with her mother. She thought I was a con artist. Just watch and be obedient, Ziqiang told her. You will understand soon enough. Her assistant gave her a report. She'd scouted every rumored zombie hotspot in the city. Only one location panned out, an old underground casino, now home to over 160 infected. 160, all in one place. This wasn't a random outbreak. It was a collection, Ziqiang confirmed with her assistant. All other rumored sites were empty. Someone was gathering the infected. A task not even the military would dare attempt. Who could be doing this? And why? This was getting interesting. Open it, I commanded. It was time to see what our mystery collector had gathered. Song Ziqiang's men strained against the door, the sounds from within a low, hungry growl. The moment the locks gave, the horde poured out. They swarmed around me, a tide of rotting flesh and mindless hunger. To me, they were just a stepping stone. Back at the warehouse, my audience watched the slaughter unfold on a live feed. With every kill, I grew stronger, absorbing the viral essence of the horde. It didn't take long. The system announced my reward for clearing the nest. The Zombie Slayer title, a permanent boost to all my attributes, and increased damage against the infected. But the real prize was the serum formula, a way to create my own evolvers. It was a small price to pay for the key to building an army. Back at the warehouse, it was time for the next phase. Do you remember my instructions? Ziqiang's assistant, Qingju, stood ready with a group of her hand-picked bodyguards. No guns, she repeated. They attract more infected. Aim for the head. I presented them with their first test subject. Show me what you can do. Qingju stepped forward. I'll go first. She moved with explosive speed, closing the distance in an instant. Her technique was flawless, using the zombie's own momentum against it. A perfect hip throw. The impact would have shattered a normal person's spine. Fast, ruthless, and precise. She was a professional. The next woman stepped up, swinging a baseball bat. She rained down blows, driven by pure aggression. Brute force, but inefficient. It took her 4 hits to crush its skull. One by one, they took their turns, proving their mettle. Some were stronger than others, but they all fought. They all passed. All but one. Her fear was so absolute. Wait, find out who's been clearing out the other nests, I told her. I want to know who else is playing this game. She worried about her daughter, but I waved it off. Train her yourself. If she has value, she'll survive. Then she gestured to the crying woman. The one who failed. a liability. I handed her a piece of paper. A solution, the zombie virus serum formula. Her eyes went wide. She understood its value immediately. This is far more precious than any weapon, I explained. It's the key to creating your own army. She accepted the task, her loyalty cemented not by fear, but by opportunity. With my new faction taking shape, I had other business to attend to. I checked my phone. The post Luli had boosted for me should have reached its intended audience by now. I couldn't be the only one who came back. I just had to find the others. My inbox was a mess of spam and nonsense. The usual internet chaos. I scrolled through the garbage, amused by the desperation. Then, I saw it. A keyword only a few would know. Pioneer. So there were others, just as I'd suspected. They'd mistaken me for someone named Han Xiao and sent an invitation to their private group. I accepted. Let them think I was this Han Xiao. It was a perfect way to gather intel. Scrolling through the chat logs, one name jumped out. Shui Chuan. I knew him. In my past life, they called him Suikyun, the water god. A top-tier evolver. The group's admin was trying to gather all the regressors. How convenient. They were doing all the hard work for me, and they had just invited another big fish into their tiny pond. Zichang's investigation was bearing fruit. Her informant was tracking the zombie collector, but the trail had gone cold. Her contact was missing. Before she could report back, the enemy made their move. They were professionals, neutralizing her team with brutal efficiency. The man in charge made his entrance, dropping in from above. The last conscious member of the team realized just how outmatched they were. Back at the villa, I was busy cultivating new assets. Another pioneer from the chat group, Liu Huai, needed help activating his talent. An ensulfur monosulfide level Yinwood body. A powerful healer, but useless without the energy to power it. Most new evolvers lacked the spirit points to use their gifts. His ability required 10 points to activate. He only had 5. For now, he was just another grateful contact. A frantic clicking of heels announced Zichang's arrival. She was panicked. Master, we have a problem. Luli has been captured, she explained. Her captors want to negotiate. They contacted you directly? I asked. The whole situation felt like a trap. Are you certain she didn't betray you? She dropped to her knees, swearing on Luli's loyalty. I raised her myself. She would never. Her conviction was enough for me. Fine, I said. We'll get her back. The meeting was at a container yard. The man in charge, Xing Ming, was waiting. He was arrogant, thinking he could use Luli as leverage to take over Zichang's organization. He wanted everything she had built, including her people. His attempt to force a drink on her was a crude display of dominance. She refused. In his world, that was an insult that required punishment. I'd heard enough. And the steak was excellent. Perhaps she just doesn't like wine, I commented, appearing beside them. My sudden arrival shocked him. I offered Luli a bite of steak instead. I cut her bonds. Time to go home. He finally put the pieces together. A pioneer, to get this close without me noticing. Zichang is waiting in the car. I told Luli, go. This was my fight now. He was impressed. He thought I'd conquered the queen of Jiangcheng. I let him believe it. That's right, now he was interested. He saw me as an equal. He couldn't imagine a woman like Zikyong submitting willingly. He projected his own crude methods onto me. He boasted of his own conquests, trying to find common ground. Then came the offer. Second in command of his fledgling empire, no. The sound of shattering glass echoed his disbelief. He wasn't used to being told no. He puffed out his chest, flashing his S-level talent like it meant something. I knew what he was. A parasite, turning people into monsters to farm their power. He deserved to die. My talent is SSS level, I told him calmly. You are not worthy to stand with me. He revealed his power, slaughter progression. He absorbed the attributes of those he killed. He scoffed, unable to comprehend a power so far beyond his own. He thought I was bluffing. A growth tech talent and a pair of enchanted claws. He was a brawler, nothing more. He lunged, eager to absorb my power for himself. A fatal mistake. Our fight began. His first attack was clumsy, easily dodged. He transformed, bulking up his muscles, a desperate but insufficient power-up. But there was another skill he hadn't revealed. His fist began to glow. Now it was getting interesting. I met his energy with my own. Let's see which of us breaks first. He came at me with everything he had, a berserker's rage, fueling his every move. But I was faster, gliding across the battlefield like a phantom. Our fists met, grabbing my arm. Then, the first symptom appeared. A cough, followed by a spray of blood. Weakness, nausea, paralysis. My gifts were taking root. What did you do to me? He stammered, his body betraying him. My power is a virus, I explained. And you, my friend, are very, very sick. His rage turned to panicked fury. He was a cornered animal, but his strength was gone. He was nothing. I stood over his broken form. I told you, we are not the same. Now, to claim my prize. His power would serve a better purpose as part of me. The system confirmed the absorption. The Blacklight Virus had evolved once more. My Devour skill was upgraded. I could now absorb memories and skills from my victims, and the attribute bonus. It was better than I could have imagined. The virus now granted a base increase of 20 points to all my attributes. A permanent, massive boost to my overall power. My potential for growth was truly limitless. I picked up the claws he had dropped. With my new strength, they felt light as a feather. He must have been incredibly lucky to kill a mutant powerful enough to drop these. A sea-level blueprint too. His luck had been astounding, but his luck had just run out. And mine was just beginning. The night was just beginning. My power had grown significantly. It was time to consolidate my gains. With Xingman gone, his assets and Song Zichang's were now mine to command. Zichang and Lu Li were waiting. They knew their place in the new order. Hunting scattered monsters was a waste of time. The real game was about to begin. I needed to organize my forces. The world after the Advent would be unforgiving. The final hours ticked away. The trial was almost upon us. I stood on the balcony, watching the city's last moments of blissful ignorance. A knock at the door. Come in! It was time for the final briefing. Zichang and her team entered. Master, your instructions are complete. They had scouted the entire area, marking key locations for our future expansion. All the materials I'd requested had been purchased and stored. We are ready, Zichang confirmed. What are your final orders? I reviewed their reports. Everything was in place. One last thing to do, I sent a final warning to the Pioneer group chat. Liu Huai, the healer, received the message. He was ready. Suqian, the water god, watched the clock. 9 minutes. In a gym across the city, another pioneer finished his last set. 8 minutes. On a rooftop, a masked youth calmed his frantic partner. 7 minutes. A young girl trembled with fear. 6 minutes. Her leader, the Master of Lightning, tried to reassure her. 5 minutes. The chat lit up with last-minute messages. 4 minutes. All across the world, the chosen few watched and waited. 10 seconds. 9. This peaceful city would soon be a memory. 7. The world was about to end. 6. 5. 4. My team watched, their faces a mixture of fear and anticipation. 3. Lu Li stood firm, her resolve hardened by what she'd endured. 2. 1. June 15th. The trial has begun. The campus was even more desolate than I remembered. A small meeting gift. The merchant chirped, offering a strange green card. A gold membership to my Chamber of Commerce, he explained. Lord Lido is very generous. I laid the flattery on thick, knowing from my past life that it was utterly useless on him. He ignored my praise and got straight to business, displaying his wares like a proud peacock. My breath caught. So many priceless profession items, including the one I'd used before my rebirth. I'm afraid I can't afford any of these right now, I admitted. He waved a dismissive hand. Then work hard, get rich, and come back when you're a real customer. I wasn't here to be a customer. I was here to be a partner. You're not just here to sell trinkets, I stated. You're here to invest in the trial. Invest in me, and I'll bring you a treasure that every god in existence covets. He conjured a chair, his skepticism palpable. And how is your future promise worth more than the treasure itself? Lord Lido does not engage in losing ventures, little evolver. Then let me show you my collateral, I said, letting the virus seep through my skin. I unleashed the full, monstrous power of the Blacklight. His eyes widened. An SSS-level talent, and one I've never seen before. Interesting. Still, he mused, it is very early in the game to place such a large bet, but you are unaligned with any god. Very well, you have my attention. Does this mean I get the investment now? I asked, pushing my luck. Not so fast. To receive my ultimate investment, you must first prove you are worthy of it. A system notification appeared, an SSS-ranked mission, just as I'd hoped. He tossed me a coin. Complete the mission, and use this to summon my shadow. I caught it. Before you go, what was that treasure you mentioned? He grinned, revealing the grand prize. An SSSS-grade dual profession scroll. A dual profession, the ability to hold 2 classes at once. The possibilities were staggering. Our business is concluded for now, Leto announced, his form beginning to fade. Do not disappoint me, little evolver. And then he was gone. The mission details floated before me. The ultimate investment. The objective was simple: find the secret realm hidden on this campus. I remembered Leto's reputation from my past life. He was greedy, but he never cheated his partners. A secret realm. Leto said it was hidden on campus. With no other leads, I decided to start my search at the gymnasium. The place was a wreck. It looked like a battle had already been fought here. And in the middle of the chaos, I found the first sign of human activity. They were students, terrified and injured. Their captor, a newly awakened evolver, was enjoying his power a little too much. In this new world, the strong prey on the weak. It's a tale as old as time, but one of the students wasn't going to break so easily. The leader's eyes glowed with rage. He promised the defiant student a slow, painful death. Even one of his own people thought he was going too far. He answered her concern with a fist to the face. The blow sent her flying across the room. Any remaining hope on the students' faces died, replaced by pure terror. I'd seen enough. Did you do this to them? He turned, a smug grin on his face. I did. What are you going to do about it? All right. In a flash, I was on him. A kick to the chin was my answer. Go to hell. His lackey, seeing his boss go down, rushed in to take his place. The students could only watch, stunned by the sudden, brutal intervention. With the trash taken care of, I turned to the survivors. Is anyone here from the medical faculty? One of the other students pointed her out. She's from the medical facility, he said. Please, don't kill me, she cried. I didn't do anything. She even tried a desperate, clumsy attempt at seduction. One of the other captives snickered. I wasn't amused. She's telling the truth, another student spoke up. She was trying to help us. That was all I needed to hear. I had what I came for. It was time to move. The rest of you can go, I announced. But you're staying with me. I gave them directions to Zeke Young's villa, a relatively safe haven. But the zombies, one of them stammered. It's too far. I've already cleared most of the path, I told them. The rest is up to you. If you want to live, you'll have to fight for it. The one who'd spoken up gave me a grateful nod before leading them away. Alone now, the medical student looked at me, confused. Why did you make me stay? A blush crept up her neck as she jumped to a wild conclusion. If it's what you want, she whispered, I'll do anything. Don't flatter yourself, I said flatly. I need you to show me the medical department. Her face burned with embarrassment. Oh, I'm sorry, I was just so scared. Her embarrassment quickly access to the important virus and bacteria samples. But there's a hidden place. Professor Oshi's private lab and incinerator. A secret realm. This had to be it. This was it. The hidden virus lab. I knocked the girl out to keep her from interfering. I started absorbing the samples, collecting virus points. Soon, I had enough to synthesize a new skill. Influenza, a sneeze that could interrupt enemy skills and induce a brief stun. Perfect. A powerful control effect. It would be incredibly useful. My talent tree had so many branches, I'd need to pay more attention to them. But for now, I needed raw power for the upcoming trial. I dumped the rest of my points into strength. Time to see what new toys I'd unlocked. 2 new passives. Flying was self-explanatory, but concentration was more interesting. It allowed for perfect muscle control. I focused my power into a single point. The resulting shockwave shattered the reinforced glass across the room. I can now concentrate all my muscle power into a single explosive burst. There's nothing left for us here. We're going to Oshi's incinerator. Down in the basement, I felt a strange energy fluctuation. Be still, I warned her. It was coming from behind that door. As we approached, the doors slid open on their own. A wave of heat and power washed over us. Stay back, I ordered. The incinerator was sealed by a magical barrier. This was the entrance to the secret realm. A system prompt confirmed it. V. Cold Incinerator, Dungeon. Lita's mission was finally within reach. I accepted without hesitation. The system notified me that this was a special, temporary dungeon. That explained why I had never heard of it in my past life. It only appeared once. I sensed movement. Something was coming. The welcome party arrived. The trial had begun. So these were the guardians of the secret realm. They looked weak. My tendrils tore through the first one. The experience points were generous, but they weren't just attacking me, they were turning on each other. A self-culling horde. That explained why they didn't swarm me all at once. Their movements were slow, their attacks clumsy and predictable. This was hardly a warm-up. Go to hell. My concentrated punch vaporized it instantly. 1,000 experience points for a single infant. Not bad at all. At this rate, I'd level up in no time. Is that all you've got? Send more. As if on cue, the elevator doors burst open, revealing a fresh wave of enemies. Now this is more like it. I became a blur of motion, a whirlwind of death and experience points. And just like that, I hit level 4. With the minions cleared, I called out the boss. Stop hiding and face me! A tremor shook the room. Something answered my call. A formless mass of flesh emerged from the wreckage. The sense of danger was palpable. It was an evolved flu virus. I had to stop its transformation. It roared, my viral attack doing nothing to slow it down. The system confirmed it. My skill had no effect. With a single swipe, it batted my power away, its own form glowing with crimson energy. Damn it, it was immune. The transformation completed. The biomaniac was born. This was the true boss of the dungeon. I unleashed a furious barrage, testing its defenses. But the damage I dealt healed in an instant. High-speed regeneration. A smile spread across my face. Finally, a worthy opponent. I would use this monster's power to temper my own. After an hour of fighting, its regeneration hadn't slowed. Was it infinite? There was only one way to find out. Status read! My hourglass skill revealed the monster's secrets. Let's see just how immortal you are. Its healing was slowing down. It had a limit, after all. Without its regeneration, it was nothing. The fight was over sooner than I'd hoped. I tore off a piece of its flesh. The well had run dry. Time to end this. My boot crushed the last of it into a smear on the floor. 10,000 experience points. A worthy reward for a boss. And with it, I reached level 5. The dungeon was cleared. A new notification appeared. The dungeon was now permanent, a repeatable source of experience. Another prompt. The system wanted to sell my clear as a video guide. An easy way to make money and sow a little chaos. I accepted, hiding my identity. Meanwhile, back at the villa, Liu Hui was tending to the others. A notification from the Pioneer chat caught their attention. A new dungeon guide had been posted, the first one since the trial began. Curiosity piqued, they decided to watch. All across the city, the other pioneers tuned in. Incredible, one of them muttered. I have to slow it down just to see his movements. What a fight, another cheered. That monster's recovery is even better than Bai's, the muscle-bound pioneer noted. Liu Hui smiled. Speaking of which, Bai is fully recovered. The chat exploded with awe. My display of power had left them speechless. Back in the dungeon, I had one last thing to do. It was time to devour my prize. The system confirmed the absorption. 300 evolution points. The Blacklight Virus had its own progression system, separate from my levels. The virus evolved, massively boosting my recovery speed, and it granted me a new passive skill, cell regeneration, a rare passive that would make me nearly unkillable. I was satisfied. Now for the loot. The boss had dropped several glowing items. The boss dropped a genetic essence and a strange piece of skin. The essence was a gamble, but the stat boost was worth the risk. I decided to use it. A permanent +1 to all attributes. A small but welcome gain. Next was the skin, Faceless Skin, a C-grade item that offered defense and a body shaping ability. It seemed to merge with me rather than just equip. a useful tool for disguise. With the skin integrated, I checked the rest of the loot. A skill book for a class 1 didn't have. Useless to me, but it would fetch a good price. With the loot sorted, it was time to complete the mission. Leto would be surprised I finished so quickly, but I knew his kind. Goblins, even a god of trade, are never straightforward. I paused before leaving. Something felt wrong. His appearance here wasn't random. There had to be a reason he was at this specific location. He called me an unexpected harvest. My SSS talent was the surprise, not my presence. His primary goal wasn't me. It was this dungeon, which meant there was something here he wanted. Something more than just a boss corpse. What was I missing? The incinerator. The one place I hadn't thoroughly searched. It was empty, just greasy walls and fire outlets. Except for a ventilation pipe in the ceiling, no stone unturned. I launched myself into the darkness. The pipe was impossibly long, a pocket of distorted space. I saw a light ahead, the end of the tunnel. A dead end. Was I wrong? I slumped to the ground, my hunch leading to nothing. And then, it appeared. A fragment of light coalescing out of thin air. This was it. The real treasure. The system couldn't even identify it. A mask with miraculous effects. This had to be a fragment of a god-tier item. The treasure Leto was truly after. And now, it was mine. I teleported out of the dungeon. The girl was still waiting for me. "I saw the video," she gushed. "You were so strong." She chattered about the copper coins from the views, but my mind was on the battle. It had been more difficult than I'd let on. Still, 1 copper coin per view. The video would be a decent source of income. The numbers were climbing, but not fast enough. I needed 1,000 coins to unlock the next storage tier. I'd have to delay turning in the mission. I needed that universe-protected storage for the mask. "We're not going back to the villa tonight," I said. "It's too dangerous to travel in the dark." "There's a high-class hotel nearby," she suggested. "It should be empty and safe." I knew exactly what kind of hotel she meant. "Lead the way." She emerged in a nurse's uniform. I was not impressed. "I'm interested in you," I clarified. "Not this cheap costume." Flustered, she hurried off to find something else. The police officer outfit was even worse. Change. Teacher, schoolgirl, she was trying too hard. "Is there anything more interesting?" I asked, growing bored. She returned one last time, dressed as a fox spirit. Now we were getting somewhere. "Much better," I purred. "For tonight, you'll be my..." Before dawn, I slipped out of bed while she slept. It was time to secure my assets. With the mask safely stored, I could finally complete the mission. I tossed the coin Leto had given me, beginning the summoning. Let's see what the god of trade thinks of my success. The streets near the university were silent, a perfect place for a private transaction. Leto, the god of goblins and trade, was notoriously dead for some time, he observed. His voice was laced with suspicion. "Why the delay?" This was my opening. I feigned outrage. "You lied to me about the dungeon. It was a nightmare-level instance. I almost died because of your test." He took the bait, offering a placating explanation. He claimed the hidden difficulty was part of the evaluation, a convenient excuse to see if I could handle the unexpected. I let him have his excuse. "Fine. What's my reward? And what's the next task?" He played his part, admitting his fault and praising my success. As compensation, he offered me a choice of reward and promised the next task would be the last. I played the part of the grateful partner. "Thank you for your generosity, Lord Leto." He presented his wares, a selection of B-rank items. A decent selection for this stage of the game, but I knew exactly what I wanted. The Scroll of Recovery, a production blueprint, a rare and valuable choice. My choice impressed him. "You have a good eye," he conceded, ready to move on. With the pleasantries concluded, it was time for the final mission. Another SSS-level task. This one was even more absurd than the last. The objective: obtain an SSS-level profession. It was practically impossible. I told him as much. Even gods aren't born with SSS-level professions. He just smirked. "My own first profession was only A-level," he admitted. He explained that the reward, the dual profession scroll, was his greatest treasure. The task had to match the prize. He had me cornered. I had no choice but to accept. While I was away, my villa had acquired a pest problem. A level 5 mutant. Far too strong for my fledgling forces. Zichang and Qingju watched from a distance. They'd already lost 2 teams trying to fight it. Zichang made the right call. Observe, but do not engage. But the situation was deteriorating fast. The rat charged, and Zicheng barely managed to save Qingju from being trampled. It tore through their defensive line with ease. They were cornered. There was no escape. The beast lunged, its jaws open for the kill. Just in time. My foot crushed its skull before it could land the blow. "Master!" Zicheng cried out, her face a mask of relief. I stood over the corpse. "Looks like I got back just in time. Clean this up." I ordered the guards. "Zicheng, report." Inside, she explained the sudden rat infestation and the casualties they'd suffered. "You did well to hold out," I told her. "I'll handle the rest." "Thank you, Master," she said. "There is someone I'd like you to meet." She turned to a closed door. "Ling Yu, you can come in now." The door creaked open. Zicheng introduced her, Qin Ling Yu, a lawyer, an interesting addition to our group. I told them they could stay and rest. The immediate danger was over. Ling Yu seemed flustered, but offered her services. I lifted her chin. "They say lawyers are sharp-tongued. I'd like to experience that for myself." To her credit, she didn't flinch. "I'd be happy to oblige. Your technique is impressive," I admitted. She had earned her reward. "Come here," I said, beckoning her to the window. "I have a job for you." I began to lay out my plans for the territory, the rules I needed her to draft. But she wasn't listening. "Did you hear a word I said?" She explained her focus skill. It heightened her senses to an extreme degree, but blocked out everything else. "I brought you here to show you this," I said, gesturing to the view. "The 3 distinct districts of Dongshan spread out below us. I need you to create a different set of laws for each one, a tiered system of rights and responsibilities." She agreed, but her curiosity got the better of her. She wanted to know more about my power. I smiled. "Your skill enhances sensation? Let's test its limits." A blush crept up her neck, but she nodded in agreement. She activated her focus. "I'm ready." The next morning, it was time to deal with the rat problem. I gathered my core team at the sewerage outlet. "Their lairs inside. This won't be just an extermination. This will be your first real training exercise. Today, you start becoming the backbone of this territory. Are you ready?" In unison, they knelt. "We are ready, Master." "Rise," I commanded. "From now on, you will call me Brother Bai." Their cheer was deafening. A team was being forged. I led them into the darkness of the sewer. The entrance gate exploded outwards. "Mission start." A system notification appeared, a special mission triggered by our entry. "Did you all get that?" I asked. They had. The objectives were clear: kill the rats, kill their king, and find the source of the mutation. We pushed deeper into the foul water, torches cutting through the gloom. I sensed it first. "Stop, something's coming." The water erupted as a swarm of mutated rats launched their ambush. Their first test had arrived. Panic set in among the new recruits. This was exactly what they needed to overcome. I cleared the first wave, giving them a moment to find their courage. The battle was costly, but they were learning, and the loot drops were a good motivator. Qingju reported their progress. 16 sections cleared, their confidence was growing. Perhaps too much. She volunteered to take on a lone straggler by herself. "Don't get cocky," I warned her. "Use your skills. Scout it first." Her face went pale. The straggler wasn't a minion. It was a boss. The Rat King lunged before she could even finish calling out its stats. I moved to intercept. She was fast, but not fast enough. She could only watch, stunned, as I met the beast head-on. A good lesson for her. There are levels to this game. The boss dropped a piece of equipment. Plague boots. I remembered from my past life. The Rat King could drop a full set. Another piece of the puzzle fell into place. The power of a full equipment set was not to be underestimated. "The king is dead," I announced. "Now we find the source." As we moved deeper, I felt a change in the air. Stop. My Blacklight Virus was reacting, absorbing something new from the environment. These were potent plagues, dangerous even to evolvers like us, which meant one thing: we were close. Zicheng warned me of the danger, but this was a feast I couldn't ignore. With every step, the virus points I was absorbing grew exponentially. I could only imagine the power waiting for me at the source. I pushed ahead, alone, following the trail of contagion. The air itself seemed to hum with malevolent energy, a paradise of plague. And there it was, a chasm filled with swirling green energy, and a body floating at its center, a corpse. This had to be the source of the mutation, the heart of the plague. The spirit of the corpse appeared, wreathed in the green mist of the plague. It held out a glowing green scroll, identifying it as the source of the virus. I took the cursed artifact from its skeletal hand. At first, it appeared blank. Then, a prophecy materialized on its surface, a message from something called the Plague Cult. Before I could process it, I focused on the feast of viral energy around me. But as I began to absorb it, a demonic hand erupted from the miasma and seized my arm. It dragged me down into a vortex of dark power. The system registered the source as defeated. Mission complete. A strange mark burned itself onto my hand. A seal of plague. And with it, a new, high-difficulty mission was unlocked. SSS level. These impossible tasks were becoming a pattern. I'll find your remnant. I promised the fading spirit as a new path opened before me. A massive portal tore through the fabric of the sewer. A new dungeon, hell difficulty. The system stated it would take a full month to stabilize. Fine, I could wait. A month would give me time to prepare. When I returned to my team, they had found another, weaker version of the portal. Zicheng pointed it out. A normal difficulty dungeon, a perfect training ground. She had already organized our people to start grinding it. Her efficiency was impressive. I briefed the assembled forces on our strategy for the raid. You three are on your own inside. I told my core team, don't call me unless you're dying. They were eager for the chance to prove themselves. I had everyone form teams and join a new chat group for coordination. My ID, Evolver number 001, caused a predictable stir. I brushed it off. The number was meaningless, but one person wasn't happy. Zikyong's daughter, Songyi, was furious she wasn't invited. Why wasn't I invited? She demanded. I just smirked. Because I didn't invite you. You're just a little girl, I taunted, showing her a glimpse of how a real woman submits to power. Her face flushed with anger. I'm not a little girl. Don't underestimate me. Fine, I said, gesturing to the portal. Prove it. The rats were massive, but her pride was bigger. I don't need help, she declared, wading into the fray. I turned to her mother. And what are your talents? Zicheng showed me her B-level illusion talent, a useful combat skill. Her daughter's was a C-rank growth accelerator. Good for leveling, but not for a fight. One was practical, the other was potential. The difference was clear. She finished her battle, panting but proud. See, I'm strong too. Her effort was admirable. Fine, I conceded. I'll make an exception. You can join my harem. She flushed crimson. That's not what I wanted. I don't want to join your stupid harem. All right, I shrugged, enjoying the panic that flashed in her eyes. I respect your choice. Wait, I want to join, she stammered. I just smiled. Are you sure? She was speechless, trapped by her own pride. Zicheng finally intervened. Master, please stop teasing her. You're making me jealous. I relented and sent the invitation. For your mother's sake, she accepted immediately. A shy, happy smile finally broke through her tough facade. She ran off to find more monsters. A classic tsundere. Zicheng and I agreed. Zicheng leaned in close. Don't worry, Master. I'll make sure she calls you Daddy soon enough. Qingju added her own thoughts. She's naive. She's never had to suffer. For someone like her, she concluded, having a daddy like you is more important than she knows. In another city, Suikyun was enjoying a rare moment of peace. Then, a notification from the Pioneer chat. Another dungeon guide from Evolver Bai. So soon? His progress was astounding. The price was steep, but she had to see it. The video opened on him with two women she didn't recognize. A pang of jealousy hit her. Why were there always so many women around him? The muscle-bound Pioneer skipped ahead. He only cared about the fight. The masked youth on the rooftop watched intently, anticipating the boss battle. Another group scoffed. He's nothing compared to our S rank. Their arrogance turned to stunned silence. He had killed the boss in a single blow. Suikyun was in awe. His strength, his techniques, he was on another level. She wished she was there, learning at his side like the others. Back at the villa, I was laying the groundwork for my new order with Qinling Yu. I gave her 3 items from my spoils. These are the tools you'll need. Her eyes widened at the value of the items. She identified the first. wall of flesh and blood, the core of an impenetrable barrier. The scroll was a life-saving treasure. With these, we could build an empire. Finally, the faceless skin, a tool for disguise and transformation. She held it up playfully. And this one? Is it less important? She leaned in close. The most important equipment is whatever pleases you, master. She hinted at another surprise she had prepared. She had promised to make Songyi call me Daddy and had the perfect outfit picked out. The night was filled with such pleasantries. Even a tsundere can be tamed with the right encouragement. I awoke the next morning, my new faction growing more loyal by the day. It was good to be the king. After another run through the sewer, I had a new piece of the set. The plague robe. Just a few more pieces, and the full plague set would be mine. Suddenly, a system alert. A private chat request. The name was Dreamy. I didn't recognize it. The user, Dreamy, had seen my strategy video and was asking for guidance. I gave her my standard reply. To help her, I needed to know her talent. It was a matter of trust. If she wanted my help, she'd have to show her hand. The user, a young girl with pink hair, read my message. Without hesitation, she agreed. I didn't recognize the name from my past life. For her to seek me out, her talent had to be special. When her reply came, I couldn't believe my eyes. Dream Butterfly, a name I'd never heard before. Another SSS level talent, and an infinite growth type, just like my own. I needed to know everything about it. She explained she could enter dream worlds and even bring items back to reality. She could even pull others into her dreams using a dream totem. The implications were staggering. As long as her physical body was hidden, she was essentially invincible. She offered to send me a totem so I could guide her in her dream world. I refused. Entering another's domain without protection was a fool's gambit. To guarantee my safety, she offered a binding evolver's contract. I was floored. Those contracts were incredibly rare and expensive. Why would someone with that kind of wealth need combat advice from me? She explained her other ability. She could manipulate monster drops in her dreams. She could farm any item she wanted, but she had no combat ability in the real world. She was terrified. If her hiding place was ever discovered, she was dead. A glass cannon. An SSS level talent with a fatal flaw. This was my chance. I agreed, on the condition she signed the contract making her my subordinate. She accepted. Another SSS talent was now under my command. Back at the villa, I prepared to enter her world. To enter the dream, I had to be completely relaxed and focused. I stared at the image of the dream totem she had sent. Her ability was already powerful, but if it evolved, the thought was genuinely terrifying. I had to control this power before anyone else could. I let my consciousness drift, following the pull of the totem. The real world faded away. She was waiting for me, a stuffed bunny in her arms. "I'm Meng Meng," she said, "my new subordinate." I materialized in her dream. "I'm Bai Chan," I said. She was right, the room was no place for combat. She placed a stuffed rabbit on the floor. This isn't the real training ground. A portal of butterflies shimmered into existence. I've prepared the gym nearby. Through the portal, an entire city hung upside down in a starry void. "This is your gym?" I asked, taken aback by the scale of her dream world. "I'm a dream traveler," she explained. "I can't create worlds, only enter and modify them." Her power was a mirror of reality. "All right, let's go." We walked a glowing path through the impossible landscape. We arrived at a basketball court, shrouded in darkness. With a playful snap of her fingers, she commanded, "Let there be light." The stadium lights flickered on, flooding the court. "I was a novelist before all this," she said proudly. Her imagination was clearly her greatest asset. "Now," she said, her tone shifting, "let's see what you've got." "My attributes are boosted by my mental strength here," she warned. "Don't hold back," I smiled. "Same to you. Show me everything." She charged, a determined shout on her lips. She stumbled, her form completely unbalanced. "Again," I said calmly. Her next flurry of attacks was just as wild. All enthusiasm and no technique. I dodged easily. "First lesson, control your balance. Second, pick a target. Don't just flail." I appeared behind her. "And third, never take your eyes off your opponent." The training was long and arduous, but she was a quick study. Back in the real world, Qingju gave me leaving tomorrow. she said, her voice soft. Stay with me for a while. I checked my playgroup status. I needed to get out there, find the other pieces of the set. She wrapped her arms around me from behind. Don't go just yet. There's a flood coming that only you can handle, I smirked. A flood this big might require reinforcements. The night was long, and my new faction was very, very loyal. A good leader knows how to manage all of his assets. My power and my influence were growing every day. The next morning, it was back to business. I left my new acquisitions to rest. A beautiful sight indeed. Qinling Yu was waiting for me in the hall. I was just about to look for you, I said. She had news. Me to them. A familiar, obnoxious voice called out as we arrived. Li Chen, the former student council president. Ling Yu explained the situation. They were protesting the daily security fee. He postured in front of his small crowd of followers, his face full of self-righteous indignation. I addressed the protesters directly. My rules keep you safe. Why are you causing trouble? He launched into a grandstanding speech about sharing resources and helping the weak. The usual, naive nonsense. He tried to pull rank, as if his old title meant anything in this new world. As president, I advise you to cancel these rules. I'd heard enough. New rule, I announced, my voice cutting through the noise. Anyone still here in 3 minutes gets shot.